My name is Colin Simon. This is my second year lifeguarding in these beaches.
My name's Stephanie Crane, and this is my 7th year lifeguarding.
Well, the district up here ranges about 14 miles? We've got 14 miles of coastline that we guard, and we have a couple of towers spread out over that space. Stephanie Crane is in a unit today, so she drives back and forth. We've got 4 unit guards that are available to do backup and break people from their towers. And so that's kind of how we patrol these beaches, and we get moved around so you don't go out of your mind in one tower.
It's a sharp, yeah.
I've seen the shorelines on these beaches change drastically in the last couple of years, and these beaches up here in our district have a tendency to change really quickly. So, I mean, I might guard here today. I could be back on this beach in a week, and the beach will look completely different and have a whole new set of hazards and change the way that the rock structure is down there and where people can get stuck, how much further out they could go or can't go. The surf size, water temperature is an issue up here. It gets really cold. So, what one day is an okay day to swim, another day might not be, especially if somebody is having difficulty getting back in. I've seen tides get higher and bigger. I've seen more debris on beaches because of larger storms. And the interesting thing I think about sea level rise with climate change is that it's not just everybody thinks about polar ice caps, so the polar ice caps are melting and there's more water. Well, as the ocean gets warmer, it expands. And actually sea level in the southern hemisphere is a few feet higher because of prevailing winds. So if those winds change, those few feet are going to recirculate. Sea level might actually drop in some places and rise in others. And as the ocean continues to get warmer, the expansion is where we're going to see the biggest degree of change. And it's just something you don't really think about off the top of your head until you go, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed a really large depletion of sand. It's natural for the sand to sort of dissipate during the winter swells, but then it should be coming back in the spring.
It's also natural to come back, which it doesn't.
Which it doesn't anymore because of dams and paving over lagoons and mining for sand further inland from riverbeds. So there just isn't the same sand supply. I transferred to this district about 3 years ago, and since then, one of our beaches I've seen maybe about 50 yards or to 100 yards worth of sand just completely disappear from the beach to the point where the beach is now almost backed up to the parking lot.
North Beach?
Yeah,
North Beach. One of the cool things I like about our district up here is that we don't groom any of our beaches. We leave them be. Whereas down in Santa Monica and Venice and all of that, they constantly groom the beaches and they pull all the kelp and stuff back away or throw it into dumpsters, and that should be naturally being composted by echinoderms and little things that live in the sand, and they nest in the sand and egg up the beaches, but then when you rake them back, you actually destroy that whole nesting area, so when stuff does wash up on the beach, it doesn't get to naturally decompose the way it's supposed to. We see a lot of people from Oxnard and Ventura at this beach and down into Sycamore. These beaches get utilized as a lot of people from the sort of, further down, like Sycamore gets a lot of people from inland, especially around the holidays, who don't have a backyard or don't have a park near their house. And they want to come out to a place to use as a communal area with their family to have big picnics and use what I think is everybody's natural resource. I hate seeing fences around beaches. Well, that one's there for a good reason because there's a shooting range right there. But I think that the ocean belongs to all of us, and people come down and use these beaches. They bring with them a lot of their local knowledge, which doesn't always extend to water knowledge. So that's why we're here, to make sure that everybody gets to recreate at their beaches as safely as possible. But we don't try and we let people recreate as much as they want within a bounds of safety, and we'll step in if we think we see something a little silly, and might be like, hey, maybe not here, maybe not today. But we want everybody to come down and use these beaches. If you live in California, these beaches belong to you. Your tax dollars pay for them, pay for us to be here. These are your beaches, these are your parks. So that's what we see. People recreating because they want to come and use this giant resource, the biggest one on our planet, which belongs to all of us. Get to know your beach. Go down to your local beach, see it in all of its seasons, spring, fall, winter, summer. Talk to ecologists any chance you get. I mean, I'm always talking to Fish and Game, or whenever there's an ecologist on the beach, asking them, like, what are you doing? What are you looking at? What's going on over here? How are the steelhead doing? What's the next thing? And just pay attention. You'll be amazed at how much wilderness is just around the corner. I mean, wilderness is making a left when you usually make a right. Just seeing something different, looking up instead of down. So it's right in our backyards, and all we have to do is ask about it and open ourselves to it, and a brand new world is right there. So that's my takeaway.
I love seeing people coming and enjoying our beaches and recreating and having fun and doing their own thing. And I encourage everyone to come out and enjoy them. Always keep in mind, leave it better than you found it. And if you have any questions about safety, you can always come up to the lifeguard tower and ask a lifeguard. They'd be more than happy to help share their information, their knowledge.
Please come talk to us. It gets lonely.